New Orleans. Craziest street racing, I believe, in the country. There was more people on the street than there was at most track events. Comparable to Shady Side Dragway. I think I did the longest wheelie of my life in the middle of the highway in New Orleans. On the way there, we left at, early in the morning. It was pretty much a straight shot. So we get there, we didn't have a hotel room booked, and dumb on our part, we didn't realize it was, we realized it was New Year's. We didn't realize there was that many people going to New Orleans. So we stayed in Gulfport, a little bit out. So we woke up 5 in the morning. We celebrated New Year's together. A bunch of guys went out and celebrated New Year's, went to the hotel room. On the way to the street spot in the morning, the guy that was with us gets pulled over for not having a trailer tag because we're in Louisiana. So we figure all that out when we get there. All was good. New Orleans. Craziest street racing, I believe, in the country. 100%. It's insane. There was more people on the street than there was at most track events. More than you could imagine. So we pulled up at this truck stop, and everybody met there, and then we did our driver's meeting, we drew chips, all that stuff. We go down to the street spot, and I'm pulling up, and I was the last one to leave the truck stop, so I'm pulling up, and I see there's nothing but open car trailers and enclosed car trailers just lining the side of the road for as far as you can see, like a mile. And I asked the guy that was putting it on, I said, man, you may park at the end, this side, where can I go? And he said, just pull in the street right here and just unload. He said, matter of fact, just pull up to the starting line and start a row right here. So on the shoulder of the road, they just line trailers the whole way. And then the far outside lane, they just stack them again. Trailers for as far as you can see. They just take up, so they leave it one lane on each side. But the racing, traffic get blocked up a little bit, but they'll just let traffic through. The police will come, put their lights on, let traffic through, the police keep going. I never saw not one of them get out of their car. We were there we rolled up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there was already a dude in the median with a pit smoker out there smoking ribs and barbecue and stuff for the day at 7 o'clock in the morning. He knew what was about to go down. But the street in New Orleans, comparable to Shady Side Dragway, every bit of it. I think I did the longest wheelie of my life in the middle of the highway in New Orleans. I drew pair 15, I think it was, and it just so happens that the car that we pulled up our trailer beside, he was 15 also. So we get there, we pull the car off. He had a badass Malibu nitrous car. We get to talking. Well, someone told him this was a turbo car. I don't know how in the world that got crossed. But we get to talking, and they're great people. We talk back and forth the whole time. And I told him, he said, you want to bet any side money on it? And I was like, man, to be honest, I just walked the street, and I think I'm going to have a really hard time getting down the road. Not because of spinning. I think I'm going to drag the bumper. I don't think we can pull enough power out the car. He laughed a little bit, and I was like, now we can move the starting line 100 feet up, and then we'll bet some money, or we can flip it and run on the road over here, and we'll see who can do the biggest wheelie on the middle of a virgin surface. But I said, that's about all I can do. And he was like, you really think it's going to wheelie that bad? I was like, yeah. So we get up there, and Brian and I had put a tune in it. We didn't pop the hood the whole entire trip. We never opened the hood. We put the tune in it before we left. We knew kind of what we wanted to do. And I was semi-confident. And I actually asked him, I was like, you think we need to pull a little bit out? And they're like, nah, we'll leave it. So we get up there, and we expected it to do a wheelie just from letting off the trans brake, So we leave. We had it set to leave at 2,900 RPMs. Nothing. And I let off the trans brake, and I cross all the photographers and stuff, and all I'm doing is looking at the sky. And I didn't see anything. And I look over, so I'm looking out my driver window to watch for his car, because that's my gauge of where I'm at, because you can't see this way. So I'm looking out the window to look for the median, his car, something. And I don't even see his car. And I was like, dang, like we were wheels up and we were in front. I pedaled it once. You can actually watch it in the video. I pedaled it once and just got right back in it, and it didn't set it down. Like it just kept going for like another 50 feet. What ended up setting the car down was I was so focused on making sure I was going straight and not like running over into his lane, I forgot to even shift. So it hit the rev limiter. And when it hit the rev limiter, it set it down. And then I went into second gear. So it was driver error. But there's a lot going on when you're, 100 foot out with wheels 6 feet in the air. And his car was, after I sat down and he passed me, like, this thing had a stock LS truck motor in it. I'm not going to run somebody down. It didn't make that kind. We probably made 800, 750 horsepower. It didn't make that much power. 60 foot was all we had. It was still a killer race. It was fun to watch it, all the videos and stuff, but it was wild. The trip back was horrible. So we left at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We raced on the street from 7 to 5, and then they kept racing. We left to come home. We get about 2 hours up the road. I blow out a tire. Wipes the whole fender and everything off my trailer. So we put a spare on it. We get about another hour and a half up the road, stop and get gas, and the guy at the gas station starts talking shit to us. So we're just joking around with him. And I was like, I'll unload this thing right now and run you in the middle of the highway. No problem. We'll put it back on and keep going our way. It was just friendly, back and forth. But he actually ran like a trailer business and had a spare tire. So I bought a spare tire off of him so that I would still have a spare tire. So we get about another hour up the street. The guy that was with us, his truck fuel pump dies. So we're in the middle of the road in like Mississippi at 3 in the morning. I hooked my trailer to his truck. So my truck pulling my trailer in my car, and his truck's hooked to my trailer, pulling his car and trailer and everything. And here we are pulling them up the middle of the road at like 3 in the morning on the side of the interstate. So get there, his fuel pump died. We had to kind of leave him at the gas station to change it in the morning. We leave him, get about another hour down the road. But we left the jack and everything with him so he could do that. We get about an hour down the road and my other tire blow out. So luckily I bought that spare from my boy at the gas station. We put it on, but we had to call roadside to come put the spare on for us. We were sitting in front of the Atlanta airport at like 5 in the morning under a underpass or whatever. And we didn't have we had a brand new spare tire. We didn't have a way to put it on. So we limped at home. We went home at like 60 miles an hour. Like I was not going over 60. I was like, one way or another today, we're going to make it home. It was the worst trip back we've had. But it was the best racing trip we've ever done in our lives. Everyone loved it. 2022, aside from day one, is the year of no more wheelies. So last year, we figured out how fast we could go on the street or at the track, whatever, with a completely stock front suspension Volvo with a stock LS in it. This year, we will have suspension on the car, brakes on the car. These are stock Volvo brakes. We'll have actual brakes on the car. We'll have suspension. And we'll have a smaller motor, but it will make a little bit, just a little bit more power. And 2022 is the year of we're just coming after people. That's all it is. We're going to do a little tour. We're going to do our own little tour to all the places that I've been in the past couple years as we race. Yeah, it's like that F 'em up tour. Like we're just coming to have fun. We're just coming to have a blast, experience all the street stuff, and we'll be going around. We're going to start in South Carolina. We're going to go to Kentucky. We're going to go to Tennessee. All those people are great. We've raced with them before in the street. They got wonderful roads. South Carolina really don't have great roads in the upstate, but the down lower state they do. We'll definitely be back at the pad. They had it on point. They had it roped off where you couldn't walk places. BJ the flagman stopped the whole race and sat down in the middle of the street until people backed up at one point. But that's the year, 2022. This car went faster in the street letting out from a big wheelie than most people probably think. So now we're going to put some suspension on it and actually get after it.